Bailey Zappe, how we doing?
Doing good. How about y'all?
We're doing well. Now, we've been discussing all day the Patriots quarterback job, and you get your first chance to start this season after getting a couple of starts last year. How would you evaluate your first performance as a starter this year?
I would say there's good and bad things, of course. In every game, there's both. I would say there, of course, we didn't come out with what we wanted as a team. That was a win. So I would say, looking back, there's a lot more things that I can learn from and grow from. Missing a few balls, ball placement, stuff like that. That's some things that I can fix. But that's a great thing about where we're at right now. We got, these next few days to get back at it and practice and learn from it and get ready for Thursday.
How different did the timing of the offense feel, even just getting the ball out, compared to when you got into the game, compared to what you saw in practice leading up to it? It looked like you were a little more settled on time in the second half. In the first half, was there, a mismatch between what you were expecting in practice and getting into the game?
I wouldn't say that. I think that was just getting comfortable with the game, getting caught up with the speed of it. It's been a while since, I've been out there truly for, an entire football game. So just getting comfortable with it and just trying to get the guys the ball and do the best I can at my job. And, I didn't do very well at that yesterday. And I hope Thursday, whenever it happens, I do a better job at that.
Did you feel you got more comfortable or got better even as the game went on?
100%. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Was there any point maybe in the second half where things started to slow down?
Yeah, I would say so. As far as, it just comes from preparation throughout the week when you know what they're trying to do against you, and just being able to understand it pre-snap and post-snap and what they do, and it just kind of slows it down for you.
Was there at any point also where you knew you had to go for the end zone? Like, did you guys have sort of a line for field goals where it's like we have to be in this part of the field in order to kick a field goal, and otherwise we got to be going for the end zone?
Yeah, I'm sure that was some of it. All those situations, that's Coach Belichick's decision. So I'm sure with the weather and everything, there was a certain yardage that, we wanted to stick to. And if it was, that the rain, the wind, and everything, that plays a factor into it. So that's a Coach Belichick decision on what he thinks is best, and but nothing that I knew of.
At what point last week did you find out you'd be starting?
During the week, I knew.
You knew during the week last week?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know that you'll be starting this week against the Steelers?
I'm not sure. I'm sure Coach Belichick will tell us that, this week sometime, but I'll keep that. Like last week, kept it private. We'll keep it private this week.
And you're not keeping it private now? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know. Just checking.
Easy way to keep it private is not telling anybody.
Do you think you should?
Exactly.
Do you think you should start this week?
I can't answer that for you. That's Coach Belichick's. Whatever he thinks best for the team, then he'll make that decision. And if it's me, I'm going to go out there and do the best I can.
You had the opportunity to take some deep shots down the field. Particularly, there was a nice ball that you had late to Devontae Parker. Unfortunately, he didn't have both feet in bounds. Do you enjoy being able to throw a deep ball like that, take a shot like that? Is that something that you request from Bill O'Brien or other coaches, to have the opportunity to air it out like that?
That was something that we talked about at halftime, just kind of pushing the ball down the field. We have really good receivers like DP, Taekwon, Juju. Those guys can go downfield and make 50-50 catches. And going into the second half, we felt like we needed a big play to kind of spark it and kind of get going. And that's kind of what led to, taking some of those shots. And, I just got to do a better job. Like the one to DP, I kind of threw it too far to the sideline to where he couldn't get that 1 foot in. So,
was that an adjustment that you made after seeing how the first half was going?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were extending plays and sort of, making plays last a little longer with your legs, you picked up a couple first downs, and that fourth down in particular, I was wondering, like, when you're practicing it during the week, is that part of what's programmed in, or is that sort of just improvisation on the run? And do you feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with doing that. I think that's, you don't really practice those things when you go into practice. I mean, if you're working with scout or you just kind of just, messing around, those are things that you do. But, when you're in practice and you're doing teamwork, that's not things that, you're like, okay, I'm going to scramble this play and see what happens. I think that kind of just, it's kind of an improv thing, and you just kind of go with it and try to make a play.
You like throwing on the run?
I like to. I didn't do a very good job of it last night, but I like to.
Right.
Talking to Patriots quarterback Bailey Zappe. He joins us here on WEEI Patriots Monday at Gillette Stadium. Bailey, in what ways, if any, was Mac Jones able to help you last week?
Yeah, I mean, he helped a lot as far as the preparation throughout the week of, kind of seeing it from outside. Me watching film, him watching film. Sometimes I pick up on things, he picks up on things, and we just kind of, combine minds with, all four of us, me, Will, Malik, all those guys. We just kind of, which one of us sees, we kind of just tell the other, and he helped a lot, especially in the game. If he saw some things, he'd let me or OB know, and we kind of try to, have a awareness of it going into the next drive.
Because we, from the outside looking in, sometimes wonder, there's only one quarterback on the field at a time. We wonder what the relationship is like at times with you and Mac. How would you describe him as a teammate?
He's a good teammate. I think, between both of us, we both want to win, and that's the main thing. And we're going to do whoever's out there, we're going to try to help each other out to, achieve that goal.
I'm wondering, Bailey, last week when you were talking to the media who's down here every day, all the beat reporters at the podium, you said something along the lines of, you guys have a lot of nice things to say about me. It came off a little bit like, hey, I know that some of you were talking about me in training camp or my position as a backup. How aware are you of the whole narratives that have been around this quarterback locker room this entire year going back to OTAs and minicamp?
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not going to tell anybody that, what they say is wrong or right. I think, we're putting in a lot of work. We're trying our hardest to win games, and it's not the lack of effort, and it's not the lack of preparation. It wasn't a shot at anybody. I guess you could take it that way, but
you're smiling, so I feel like it's all in fun.
It's all in fun. I don't have social media. But, even if you don't have social media, sometimes you still run into things that people say, whether it's good or bad. So, and as far as players, I'm sure everybody has a opportunity or a memory of when they saw somebody say something bad or good about them and they remembered it. So,
there's been reports in the last couple of weeks about the locker room maybe being a little split. Mac having guys, you having guys. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like there's guys who are your guys and guys who are Mac's guys?
No, not at all. I think, we've done a really good job this year of staying together as a team, both offense, defense, and from my standpoint, I've yet to see any division between anybody right now.
I'm curious about this. When you were released in training camp or right at the end of the preseason, whenever it was there, any communication from other teams, interest from other teams, via your agent or anything like that? Did any teams reach out when you were available?
Yes.
They did?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you decide to stay?
I felt like for me, my best opportunity was to learn from Coach Belichick, to learn from Coach OB, and I felt like that was, the best fit for my career, and is to stay here and have the opportunity to play, have the opportunity to stay with these guys that I've built relationships with, and I think the main thing is just to learn from the coaches that we have here, and I think that was, the best fit for my career and the future for, whatever happens for me.
What's been the biggest difference with Bill O'Brien this year compared to a year ago? Meaning the coaching a year ago with Bill now this year.
Yeah, of course there's differences. I'm not going to get into great detail about it, but I think, me and Coach OB, our relationship has grown, a lot over these last few months, and, I really like getting coached by him. He coaches hard, and, I like, being coached. So he does a phenomenal job at that, and, they did a phenomenal job at that last year. So.
You don't seem like a guy who gets nervous in these big spots. I remember when you went into the Green Bay game last year, everybody, myself included, was like, wow, he's doesn't seem overwhelmed at Lambeau Field. Was it different preparing for this start this year? Did you have any nerves or, I guess, sleepless nights leading up to it?
No sleepless nights, but there was a little nerves, of course, going into the game of just, normal stuff. And then once, the first play goes or you get hit the first time or you make your first completion, all that kind of just settles down. And then you're just playing football, which you've done, your entire life.
So this will be your first short week, right?
Yeah, I was actually talking about that just a while ago.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
You finally get your first start, your second start, you get like 2 days.
2 days and then right back at it.
Yeah, okay. Well, is that what sort of goes? I know you guys have to play some catch up here, but how does that week kind of go in terms of getting someone like you up to speed?
Yeah, it's just a lot of mental, a lot of film watching, a lot of studying. Of course, everybody's still rehabbing from yesterday, so there's not going to be a lot of physical reps. I think that's for everybody that goes from a Sunday to Thursday game. There's not a lot of physical stuff. There's a lot of mental. So I think that's the biggest thing over the today and the next 2 days before the game is just getting into the film, getting into the plays, and just mental stuff.
It's time now for the quarterback question of the week. It's brought to you by Northeast Men's Health, the experts in men's sexual health with offices in Dedham, Marlboro, Woburn, and Salem, New Hampshire. You can visit northeastmenshealth.com. You're from Texas. Are you a Longhorns fan?
No, sir.
You're not a Longhorns fan. Okay, so maybe this will inform us. What did you think of teams like Texas and Alabama getting in to the college football playoff, while teams like Florida State, undefeated, and Georgia, the number 1 team going into last week, get left out?
I mean, it's hard.
Nobody up here really cares about college football, so you won't offend any of our listeners.
Well, I'm a college football fan, so I mean, it's hard.
So I should back this up. So who do you pull for? If it's not Texas, who do you pull for?
I don't know. I mean, my dad went to A&M, so I mean, I guess that I wasn't really I didn't really have a set college. I was kind of a players guy, so whenever I grew up, I rooted for Reggie Bush. I mean, I remember like the first football memory I have of college football was 05 national champion or 06 national championship
when they lost to Vince Young.
When they lost to Vince Young.
Yeah, so it was a good game, but it was an
game.
unfortunate outcome. Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that. I was like 5 or 6 years old, but I remember it.
Yeah.
But I understand. I mean, it's hard. You have 4 teams that go into it. Now they're expanding to 12. No matter what happens, people are going to be left out that deserve to be in there. And I understand why they left out Florida State as far as the quarterback. They're on the 3rd string, but also they're 13-0. They won the ACC. I mean, that's just hard to leave them out. And then I understand putting Alabama in there. They beat the number 1 team. They're on a 30-game win streak. So I understand why they're in there. I understand why Texas is in there. But the hard one is leaving Florida State out. And that's just because, I mean, they're 13-0. They've done what they've done all year just because one player gets hurt. It's not fair, but, I mean, that's a tough decision.
So as we just established, quick turnaround for you this week. So it's probably not the week where you get to do it. But whether it's college football, you said you're a college football fan. What does Bailey Zappe like to do with his free time when you have it?
So y'all know I'm from Texas. So I hunt and fish a lot. That's kind of my, I kind of get away from.
What do you hunt?
Whitetail.
We're not hunters. Look at us. So deer.
Yeah, deer.
Yeah. Okay.
And hogs and fish.
Hogs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Pigs. Whatever y'all call them up here.
Yeah.
And then I fish. So up here, y'all are freshwater mostly. Y'all are by the bay. But down where we're from, we don't really have lakes and stuff like that. So we're saltwater. So like we fish redfish, trout, flounder.
Sharks, anything big like that? Sharks, whales.
You can go and catch sharks and everything, but I'm not a big shark guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have to go. We'll have to go hog hunting sometime.
We can go
we'll have
clamming.
To do that.
Have you been clamming?
I've never been clamming.
It's so lame. But if you're in New England, you gotta go clamming.
That's a great build up for it, right? Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you want to go now? It's lame.
I'm just thinking of how you harvest natural resources around here.
Clamming.
Well, Bailey Zappe, we appreciate the time. Best of luck on Thursday if you are indeed the starter, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate y'all.
All right,
Thanks,
Bailey Zappe, as all our guests, joins us on the Harbor One